U.S. military releases details of Mississippi plane crash. A U.S. Marine Corps transport plane crashed in the Mississippi Delta on Monday afternoon, killing 15 Marines and a Navy corpsman. The Marine Corps KC-130 aircraft was carrying 16 service members and small arms ammunitions and personal weapons. It took off from Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point in North Carolina and was en route to Naval Air Facility El Centrino in California. Reports say the aircraft suffered structural failure at 20,000 feet and may have exploded mid-air. It then disappeared from radar and spiraled down to the ground. It crashed and burned in a soybean field about 85 miles north of Jackson in Mississippi, scattering debris over a radius of about 5 miles. In April, a 22-year-old soldier was killed when a UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter crashed in Maryland. In November 2015, 4 crew members were killed when another UH-60 Black Hawk crashed during a training exercise in Central Texas. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Military training exercises can be as dangerous as the real thing. More than a dozen dead in military plane crash in eastern Afghanistan. A U.S. military transport plane crashed past midnight on Friday in Afghanistan's Jalalabad airport. The C-130 transport plane was carrying 6 U.S. military personnel and 5 civilian contractors when it crashed upon takeoff, killing all on board. There is no immediate indication of what caused the crash, which also killed 3 Afghan civilians. The Taliban claimed responsibility for the crash, but U.S. officials have denied this, calling it an accident. The crash came hours after Afghan troops were able to retake the northern city of Kunduz from Taliban forces. C-130 transport planes have a respected safety record and are typically used to haul troops and equipment around war zones.
More than 100 people were killed after an Indonesian military plane crashed. More than 100 people are believed to have died after a military transport plane crashed in a residential neighborhood in Indonesia shortly after takeoff. The C-130B Hercules Indonesian military aircraft was carrying 101 passengers and 12 crew members when it crashed on Tuesday afternoon. The plane had traveled from Jakarta to 2 other Indonesian cities before landing in Medan earlier that day. The plane was bound for Tanjung Pinang in the Riau Islands. 2 minutes after takeoff and only 5 kilometers from the airbase in Medan, the aircraft encountered technical difficulties and the pilot asked to return to the base. The BBC reports that the plane crashed into a hotel and 2 residential buildings, killing all 113 people on the plane. At least 3 others on the ground were killed in the crash. It's still unclear what caused the crash. Indonesia's remaining C-130Bs will be grounded pending further investigation.
Greek F-16 crashes in Spain during NATO exercise, killing 10. At least 10 people were killed when a Greek F-16 fighter jet came down shortly after takeoff during a NATO exercise at a training center in Spain on Monday. The 2-seater Greek F-16 jet crashed shortly after takeoff from a training center in Albacete, Spain on Monday. The plane lost power and crashed into an area where a number of French Mirage and Italian Alpha jets were parked. The area was engulfed in flames and smoke after an explosion. The accident led to at least 10 deaths, including 2 Greek and 8 French nationals. They were among 750 military personnel participating in a 4-week NATO training program. Besides Greece and France, 7 other countries have sent representatives to join the training exercise. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said he was deeply saddened by the fatal accident. Reuters reported that another 21 people were injured.
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
US fighter jet crashes in eastern England. A US Air Force fighter jet crashed into a field near houses and a school in Lincolnshire, England on Wednesday. The crashed US F-15 fighter jet belongs to the 48th Fighter Wing based at RAF Lakenheath in Suffolk. It came down in a field in Western Hills at about 3:30 p.m. local time during a combat training exercise. The pilot managed to eject from the aircraft before the crash. Witnesses said the plane went straight into a field near houses and a primary school. The pilot escaped with very minor injuries. It is unclear what caused the plane to crash.